introduce the guys. Of course, we are ECDC, better known as Exposure Community Development Corporation. Our mission is to expose, serve, and educate the community through music. And the purpose of this podcast is to educate listeners, give inspiration to younger and older musicians, and to promote our local talented musicians and artists that are right here in Alabama. And a lot of these guys are artists in their own right and professional musicians, and I definitely highly respect them and, again, appreciate them for coming. So Alabama has some of the best musicians.
That's right.
They really do.
Tell them to call you back, man.
That's actually Deon at the door, so we're going to get...
We're going to take a pause.
Oh, Deon. Oh, D.
So, Earnest, can you get the door for us?
Sure, literally.
I'll be right back.
I appreciate it. Is how do you prepare for the road? It just how do you prepare for the road as a musician?
That's an extensive question because it depends on who you're working with and what kind of music it is. You know, a lot of times when you get ready to go on tour with an artist, they might have rehearsals for an entire month. Having done that Maxwell tour in 2008, and he rehearsed for a whole month. Mm-hmm. Although there was a bass player that they let go, and I came in 2 weeks before the tour, so I had to cram.
Gotcha.
So, you know, if it's a big tour like that, you're probably going to need to do the homework to get ready for the rehearsal before you actually get ready for the show. Gotcha. But that's not always the case with everyone, you know, so it just depends.
Okay.
It's a lifestyle, Doc. As if somebody called me to come do a quartet thing like I'm about to go do after I leave here, you know, I'm going to go in that thing like as if I was playing with the Mighty Clouds of Joy in the 80s. Gotcha. You know, like it's the baddest gig ever. See, I mean, it's a lifestyle.
Cool.
So, you know, I'm always serious about that music. I promise you. You want to get on my bad side, don't be about the music. There it is.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
There it is.
That's right. That's right.
And they took it out. I read the words right out of my mouth. Preparation. Yeah. Not just knowing the music, but learning the artist. You know, especially with playing keys, because I've done a couple of gospel tours. When you playing with a gospel artist and they get to flowing, you kind of want to know what's in their bag before you walk up there.
Right.
Same word, preparation. I'm going to split that and say mental preparation. I mean, it starts here before you get to it. So getting your mind ready for what's about to happen, doing your research, making sure, like they say, everything that's come with it mentally, make sure you're confident about it, and then start the preparation with the music.
Well, I think these guys basically summed it up. It starts mentally first, and then for me, I like to listen to the music and just to get a sense of the difficulty level of what's needed, the involvement, and that way I can assess about what, you know, how to approach it and about what kind of time I may need to put in for said, you know, arrangement or artist. So
That's cool.
Knowing, I would say this, knowing your weaknesses and preparing for your weaknesses, and knowing if you're good with time in two different respects. One, are you good with the time of the show, the timing of the show, 4/4, 3/4, whatever? Are you good with that? Can you rock with that? And then, can you be the places on time? Can you take care of yourself to be in the right space at the right time? If you're not good with that, you ain't preparing for the road at all. So you got to be on time for a lot of things. So are you good with time?
Yeah, and Tim, let me add this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just be cool. Like, people want to be around people that are cool.
This is true.
I don't care how good you can play, how good you look, how good your gear is. If you're not cool to be around, they probably not going to want to work with you very long. So, I mean, personality and just having the right temperance around people is everything.
Like Cameron said earlier, learn the person that you're playing with, because even off stage, there are certain things they're peculiar about, particularly about you don't want to mess what they doing up. You don't want to mess their whole situation up. Just, again, read the room and just understand your place in that band. You're not the band leader. As one dude said to a group of folks, just because you're on the gig doesn't mean you know what needs to happen. And if you do know, you're not the MD. So learn to listen and read the room before and try to find your place to talk to somebody if you need to talk.
I'll say this too. We've all played with a plethora of people, so I don't want to start name dropping and all that stuff. But my biggest lessons have come from playing with these dudes. I play with everybody up here, with the exception of Deon, by virtue of us playing the same instrument. Yeah. But man, on gigs with Jones, Cam, David, Earnest, and man, you know, you just kind of learn. Okay, I probably don't need to let that happen again. Oh man, I thought this song was a little easier than it actually is. Or, you know, sometimes you might underestimate a tune and you get on and Cam and David come in blazing and I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah, you know. Yeah, so it's just stuff that you know that you can't let happen in situations. Like you don't want to be the weakest link on the gig.
Right.
You don't want to be the one guy that's not making the train go down the track.
Right.
You know, and so I've been in the trenches with these guys probably more than any artist we played with outside of our circle in Alabama. You know, you got the Eric Essexes and the Kim Scotts and all of that, but that's still in our circle. When we go outside of our circle, we use the lessons that we learned from each other.
Yes.
For the experience outside of the circle.
I'd like to, if I can, piggyback on what Sean, because it relates to Sean. My first time playing with Sean Michael Ray, it was at a church event. And I was just so used to playing by myself, I didn't know how to play with a bass player. Yeah. And so when Sean got on bass, I started playing. All right, here go the song. Bass was like, hey, I got that left hand. Take your left hand out. I got that. I got that. Leave your left. I was like, sir, I don't, sir, who are you? I don't, take the left hand out. I was like, so what do I do with this left hand? I don't know what to do. And ever since then, that has served me for the rest of my career. I was like, don't play left hand.
I do not remember that.
It's okay. It's okay. Hey, Chief, I got that, Chief. I got that.
Two things for me is being open to correction. And the other side is being okay if that artist don't work for you due to personnel, right? Not going to name that name. But, you know, I don't work with people where it was like they were so picky that it was just not, I was just not interested anymore. And I knew after that gig, it was a learning experience that I'm okay not playing with you. Because there's many artists in the pool that I could get exposure from, you know. So those two things, open to correction and open to every artist not going to work for you.
Which camera? I'm going to go with this one.
There you go. Oh.
Learn the genre of what you're playing.
Oh, yeah. Vocabulary, yes.
Yes. One of the lessons, and my dear friend Sean was there.
And I want everybody's story.
I started off as a gospel player, and so I have a really good ear. Long story short, I was moving over into the smooth jazz arena, and man, I just figured, you know, I listened to it. I was like, oh, they ain't doing nothing. Man, I put it in my CD player, put them headphones on, and with nothing sticking with me. I got to the show, man, and nothing came back. Not one song, not one key, not one melody, nothing. And we sitting around a bunch of established cats. Man, that was a painful lesson. I paid 10 years for that lesson. But it taught me.
A slave.
It taught me.
We all have.
Learn your genres.
Wow.
I would say to piggyback off of Cam, the biggest thing I learned is really you just need to play the part. Be authentic to what the song, the arrangement the artist wrote. You know the song itself. Sometimes as musicians we kind of interject ourselves and can do a little bit more than what's needed. And the worst thing you could do is have the artist say, "That's not my song," or "That's too much." So it's not really about spazzing out. It's playing the part, being disciplined to make the music feel like the music that was written. And I think that's the biggest thing I took away from it. Marry yourself to the music, the piece, the arrangement.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what you said, Deon, that's very true. But I think certain people call you because they want you and the way you sound, so you can interject yourself into the music. I was watching an article, not an article, but a video. I was watching an article. I was watching an interview is what I meant to say, of Marcus Miller. And he was talking about how he was a session player at 17 in New York, just doing jingles and stuff. And he said what the clients wanted they wanted people that could read but didn't sound like they were reading.
Right.
So a lot of times when we're playing with these smooth jazz artists or whoever it may be, we're reading the charts, but you don't want to sound like you're reading.
That's right.
You still want to put yourself into it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I was saying.
I think that boils back to reading the artist, knowing which artist you playing for. David told me a story. I'm about to tell your story.
I don't care.
But one artist was so particular that they told David, read what's on the chart to play. Everybody. So
Sure, we know.
it's just right. It's just that's just how that goes.
Wow.
What about you, Norris?
I think I just had to relearn a lesson I already knew. And since nobody wants to name drop, I'm gonna name drop.
My God.
Don't do it, John.
Yeah, I mean, but
My God.
it's a good situation. At least it worked out good for me. D'Angelo, I got a call like 5 o'clock one evening. Yo, man, what you think about D'Angelo? Yeah, cool, very cool cat. What you think about trying out for the gig? Yeah, that sounds like something I could get into. Can you be at the airport at 5 in the morning in Huntsville? Yeah, I can do it. Anyway, long story short, I went to the airport, didn't really know one D'Angelo song from top to bottom. Not one. Just rode up there, flew up there blind as a bat. Manhattan, November something, snowing, with my guitar and my luggage and yada. I get out the car. If I'm not mistaken, there's 26 guys out the door from the steps around the corner. I'm at the end, Audition? Yeah, they're at audition. I didn't really know it was an audition like that. Somebody comes to the door and says, "Yo, happy to see you, all you guys here." He says, "Who's Spanky's boy?" And 2/3 of the line threw their hand up. This is no joke. And so the guy laughed. He said he goes in the inside. He comes back out and he said, "Who's Spanky's boy from Huntsville, Alabama that just flew in?" And I barely heard him. And I come around the corner, me. So I ended up. He said, "You come in." I ended up going in and I got a chance to play first.
Wow.
That day, the last was first at the end of the game. I went in there not knowing one thing. Introduced myself to D, Quest, Pino, and all these cats. And D says, "Yo, man, you feel like playing a little bit?" But that's what I'm here for. Let's see what's happening. He takes me to the piano. And I got my guitar. And he says, "Yo, I'm going to play this." He started grooving. He says, "You play this." Bang. And he's getting it. And the busier, the funkier he got, bang. Bang. After a while, he couldn't contain it. He says, "Man, he won't move." He said, "Man, what makes you stay there?" I said, "You told me to play. You told me what to play." And I was all ears, which I'd already learned that before. Mm-hmm. Pay attention. I'm gonna play exactly. I know I don't know the music. Wow. So if you tell me to play this, that's all I'm gonna play until the cows come home. Don't you know that's all it took? He sat there and he was smiling and he started playing something. He said, "Just hold up a minute." He started playing an old quartet song. And I said, "Hold up, what you playing?" I said, "No." I said, "What you know about that?" He says, "No, you don't know that." Yes, I do. So I started playing it. The gig was mine from that point. Wow. He jumped up and he actually skipped like a kid to the back corner with Pino and Quest and them cats. Said, This the guy.
Wow.
Just that simple, listening. I'm listening. I listened to what he told me to do, and I did nothing else. But that, and he said, "Oh, I teach you all of the songs. You teachable because you listen." Wow. Boom. There it is.
That's good, man.
That was good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And a whole lot of years later, we still got that thing. You know, I still slip out and get down with it.
Bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang.
What do you move? I just got fired. hey, but no joke though. Out of all the years I was around there, every cat that got the boot, sooner or later, it was because they couldn't just play what he asked them to play. I'm not gonna call this time I'm not gonna call a name. Incredible keyboard players, incredible guitar players coming to join the gig. But this one particular keyboard player was impossible. And he says, he gets there early, like I was there early, and he says, "Yo," I said, "How you good with the music?" I said, "Let's me and you run over some stuff before D gets here." And he starts letting me know he was the jazz guy. And I said, He wants them little 3-finger chords there. That's all he's gonna want. And we got to jamming, and it got good, and man, he started moving. And he moved, and D would look over there and just said, "Yeah, it's this right here. It's this right here." After a while, management comes in the room, and we jamming. He gets to going again. The next day we come in, Pino says, "I think they got rid of your boy, Jonesy." I said, "Dang, he was good." He says, "Yeah," and they was giving he had his ticket right there.
Wow.
He comes up and, "Hey man, it was nice working with you one day of not listening."
In your own words, Jones. Now I got this from you. Take him off the road and put him on the road.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, but I was like, all you had to do was listen, man. Play that simple part. Because I'm like, most of the keyboard stuff for D, the organ, the roll, not the main part. All the other stuff, I could kind of play that on keys. Because it's so simple. It's that and nothing else. You ain't got to be that good to play that. Just play that. There it is.
That's a lesson. Good.
Yes, sir.
Artists, if you want to, just some memorable moments.
Man, let me tell you, this is funny. You know, as a kid, you grow up watching Soul Train and David Letterman and all these shows, and you dream about doing that stuff, and you get a chance to do it, and it was fun because I got a chance to do just about all of them. But the most fun I have is playing at home with the guys.
Wow.
You know, when I play with Cam, when I play with David, when I'm playing with Jones, when I get a chance to play with Earnest, that's, playing with Eric, playing with Ken, PJ. When I play with the home team, that's when I'm having the most fun ever. It's just something special about that. And then when I go out and play with artists outside and we go out places, that's just icing on the cake.
Yes.
But it ain't the cake. That's just the icing. I like playing with the home team. That's where I have the most fun.
Yes, sir. What about you, Norris?
I think I get carried away, right? Man, I got some. It's some moments. It's some moments in there. When you're around serious cats, I'm not one. I don't like to piggyback, but it is what it is. When I play with any of these guys, music happens every time. It's amazing. I was telling you about the bad gig just the other day. Oh my goodness! I questioned my ability to make music. It was so bad.
That's well put.
Why did I take this gig?
That's well put.
It was so bad. I was so embarrassed. When the gig was over, this is no joke. If you think I'm lying, ask Starworth. Starworth had to talk me off the ledge. This was just yesterday, day before yesterday.
Joseph Stallworth
is
had another prominent Alabama keyboardist.
Yeah.
Just for the
Amazing.
audience.
Amazing.
I felt
Plays the parts.
Look, I felt so bad. The next day I got up. I made it all the way down to Friday evening, and I had no clue that it was Friday. And I have stuff to learn that night to start in the morning to play all day for Saturday. You know, I was like, man, I'm like I lost my mind. You know, I mean, it bothers me bad. If you've been around me, if you hadn't, you just keep hanging around and something is going to hit wrong to me. Because all of a sudden they'll say, yeah, Jones needs to walk it off. And it's normally about music. Used to be about music or a girl, but now it's music. The girl thing, it is what it is. I know how to walk away from that. I don't know how to walk away from this. I can't walk away from myself. But and it's just been so many wonderful gigs. Oh my goodness! But the most wonderful gigs at Carnegie Hall and blah blah blah, they're no better than sitting down playing with any two or three of y'all. Mm-hmm. Oh, when it gets good, it gets good. Yeah. When it ain't even no audience, when it gets good, man. My goodness. So I tip my hats to the cat that get it, man. Yeah. That's always searching how to make music, how to make the music better. Yep.
That's good.
I guess for me, I have one in particular, but I'm gonna say this first. Don't shoot for the stage. Shoot for the gig that will bring you the stage. What I mean by that is, if we're in here, make this feel so good that the stage wants you.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we were at, here's another one with Sean and David. We're at the World Games 2022, Birmingham. And I got the opportunity to be the MD for the opening and closing ceremony. So we had a hiccup. I'm going to tell the story. We had a hiccup in the middle of the opening ceremony. Nobody knew what was happening next. The orchestra sitting there. You got all the athletes from around the world there at the stage. And we don't know what's coming next.
Didn't you leave the stage? You were gone, right?
I left the stage. I did. I left the stage. I got called to the side. And they were like, we got to do something. Looked over at the rhythm section. It was me, Sean, PJ, the crew from home. Sean picks up, starts playing doom, 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 Don't Stop Believing. And just us. The whole stadium said whoosh, like you had lit it on fire. And that goes to show it wasn't about the stage. Mm-hmm. It was about everybody in that team that you was rocking with. Mm-hmm. At that moment, it became about what was happening on the side of that corner of that stage. And it was just us having fun, doing what we do.
Not to mention you played with Greg Field games too. That's crazy.
Man, that was highlight. That was a highlight among highlights among highlights.
With who?
Greg
Field
Field
to be
game.
there for the sound. The sound checks were more fire than the gig.
Listen,
they get good.
Jeez.
So I have two. I had to narrow it down while they was talking. First time doing Gospel Goes Classical. Sean called. I did that at 22. Looking back at that, it was amazing. I mean, to be 22-year-old doing that, and now every time we get a chance to play with the orchestra, it's just amazing. Just making music with 75 people, and to try to keep that together as a rhythm section in the back is just the experience, and I think getting calls from people that you admire locally. You know, first time I got a call with Eric, it was just like, man, I felt like I made it more than anything. Sean, or even when Norris, playing with Norris, it's just kind of like, man, I'm playing with the guy. Because Norris gonna let you know what it is. You know, if it's good or bad, he's gonna let you know.
Yeah, I have to.
I'm compelled to let you know.
Because you don't get those opportunities anymore. You know, we living in a different world, which you can't tell nobody nothing. Well, that's another subject for another day. Yeah. But those two things, man, playing with local guys that you admire and just, you know, playing on big stages and with massive musicians.
Yes, sir.
I have two moments. First one being before I was ever featured on the stage, you know, I always known locally. The OG son, of course, gave me my first start, and it was with Brian Simpson New Year's Eve gig. And I can remember, it was the first time I've never read charts, never played a smooth jazz show. So it was just one of those, you know, and I spent 2 weeks on the show just trying to memorize it. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, man, the OG, he got faith in me. He have trust me. I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. And, man, I tell you, that week and a half was just heck, because I couldn't remember the arrangements. I couldn't do nothing. You know, it was just hard to fathom me in mentally. So it just took me to kind of just take a step back, look at the logic. Well, I do have charts. You know, I hadn't read music since high school. So here it is, I'm 22, 23, been out of high school for a while. You know, what we gonna do? We can't call son and say, hey, bro, I ain't ready. I took a look at those charts, started notating. You know, do that. Right.
Can't pull it.
You can't do that. That may be your first and your last opportunity. Right. You hear me? Yeah, so it, you know, you just had to put it together. You had to have a come to Jesus meeting. So look at the charts. I'm playing the music while I'm looking at the charts, and all of a sudden it just kind of makes sense. And sometimes you have what you need and don't know you already have it. And so for me,
Yes,
that right there showed me, you know, hey, it don't matter what's in front of you. You have what you need. You just have to take the time, assess the situation, and go for what you know. You have to sometimes dust some things off. And so that gave me my start. And from that point on, I would say my confidence, my mentality changed a bit, a lot because of that. And I would say that birthed who I am now. That's number one. Number two, I would say there's nothing more rewarding than going on the road with guys you share the stage, which you have a relationship outside of the stage, you have chemistry with. I can remember my first date with said artist was at the Capitol Jazz Fest at 2020. First road.
You can say who the artist is, man. It's all
Chrisette
good.
Michelle. Okay,
Come on, man.
Come on,
Let
Come on,
it,
man.
Now you know.
Well, say
Now
it.
everybody
Y'all
know.
Say it with your
You know who we
chest.
play with?
Know. Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Gotta say
You
it.
know who we play with?
Gotta say that.
Discreet.
Shut it up.
But anywho, tracks went out. Ears wasn't right. All I had was lead guitar. I think for the most part, the entire band had lead guitar, and we was depending on slates and cues and all of that stuff.
That's all you
What
need.
else you need?
The league
Right. But when technology fails you, you know, man, I'm trying to tell you, yeah.
It will
Right.
fail you.
Yeah, and it will fail you. And so does the preparation shows up. And so as we ran out of time to trying to check the tracks and get everything together, it was just like, hey, y'all, it's go time. And the conversation was, in the talkback, hey, we've been in much worse situations than
yes.
these. We know we can get through this. We know where we come from. Let's just use our grit and let's get through this.
Yep.
And without tracks, first time playing any of these arrangements, you know, went out without a hitch. And what that showed me, you know, sometimes you just, you know, you have to just go back to the basics, which, you know, before technology, before all of the stuff we use as enhancements now, go back to the bare basics, which is the chemistry and the trust and the support you have with your brethren.
Oh, yeah.
You'll never go wrong with that. So I would say those two situations I remember the most.
Yes, sir.
So we just excused him for being late today. I think he was in the car with God. That's what it was.
David, we got an altar here. Do we put Deon on the altar?
Yes, sir.
That was good.
Mine was a situation where I was a student at college, and I had to learn. We were doing a tribute to Miles Davis, and I had to learn Herbie Hancock's entire comp and solo for My Funny Valentine.
My
And
Jesus.
you had to read it. We could read it. The guy that did it before me had to write it down, so I had the privilege of at least reading it. But just having to go back and listen and understand what he was doing off the top of his head, I'm trying to read it, and then I gotta try to feel what he was feeling when he was playing. It's like, and then it made sense on the concert, and I know I studied enough because I got the same house that he got in the exact same spot because you're playing. It was just so amazing. I was like, that taught me. No matter what, play with that kind of confidence, knowing that even if everything else around you fails, play with that kind of confidence. The reason I say that is because I got a chance to play with Rodney Whitaker, who plays bass, upright jazz. And I was like, all right, he called a tune. I didn't know the tune. So I'm going through I Real Pro in the book like, all right, cool, let's go. And he just go do 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 do, and I was like, the freedom that I had to just play because he was so solid, I was like, huh. I need to, let's go, let's come with it, let's go. And so that session was a good session, but I was like, you got to always play like that no matter where you are. You have to just play with that confidence, because if you're going in like, I don't even know what to do. Yes. You will not have another opportunity to play with somebody like that. So whenever you get called for something, just play with that kind of confidence. Play like you know what's going on. Yes. Don't be afraid. Step out, smack them drums, or play the fool out the bass, whatever you got to do. But just let people know you're there. And don't be obnoxious about it. But those are the lessons I've learned playing with those types of folks. And when I do anything else for anyone else, it's that same type of confidence that I approach it with. So just developing confidence out of that.
That's good.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir. 2 more.
Hey.
It shouldn't be long. Deon had touched on it, at least on one of his answers. What is the pros and cons of being on the road? We ran into flight delays and sound guys and crappy equipment and all that. So what is your at least you've experienced over the years with pros and cons of being on the road with artists or performing locally? We can do that too. So,
Well, the pros far outweigh the cons. Especially if you're with a good artist on the road. They just, a flight being delayed ain't nothing. Some days you get to a city, if like you're doing a bus tour and you think you got hotels that day, and they're like, hey man, we just got day rooms today. So you got all the guys in one room to take a shower, or the girls, if you're on tour with women, they have their own room. And you might have been expecting to have your own room that day, but But I mean, it's just minute stuff, man. It ain't nothing to trip over. I mean, for me, like I said, the pros far outweigh the cons. I don't have a whole bunch of horror stories about the road. Mostly everything has been good. The worst thing that could happen for me was something being delayed. That's about it.
Yeah, the pros, the cons. The pros definitely win. I've kind of been touring for a long time, and I literally have 2 tours that I would say that I didn't like, that wasn't good for me. All the rest of them were different kinds of wonderful. Oh my goodness! They say people will ask. I know people that like D. They ask and they want me to say D. I said, well, D was no better than Aaliyah. Aaliyah was amazing to play with. Layla Hathaway is amazing to play with, and as long as you know their music, you know their music. That's the key right there. I think we just gonna keep coming back to that. If you show them that you took time to know their music when you get there, then the next thing you know, they'll start saying, man, give me a little bit of that Alabama. Give me a little bit. Oh, I know you got the music. I appreciate you learning the music. Hey, give me a little bit of that Alabama, Doc. You are so right. And they say, oh, give me a little more of that Alabama. Hey, just do you. But you're not going to come in there. Just going to do, you just can't come in there and say, I'm Norris Jones. I'm just going to do me. No, I didn't listen to your music, but
because I'm Norris Jones.
You should listen to me. What key you like? I got a key for you. You know how foolish that sounds? Yeah. So
I got a key for your tail.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna start this song off.
Yeah, right. So the tour is going from literally from glory to glory for me, with the exception of a couple. No, I will not speak on them until the mics go off. Yeah, man. So if you I'm like a whole lot of times I can be way by myself, and I think that's the way I get my game going. My game is to be, sometimes I can be extremely quiet.
Is that what's going on? We got sound checking, like, where's Jones? He probably sitting in the car.
Yeah,
that's what's going on.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but that, I think I got that from like the football days. They say the coach said, do whatever you got to do to get your mind right.
That's right.
Get your mind right. So I would just disappear. Go over there and sit in the shower somewhere. And doggone it, when they say come out there and be dude, I'm ready to do some damage. Right. I mean, that's what I'm just getting. I can't just act a fool all the way up to time to bring it.
I get it.
You know, at least I ain't gonna say I can't, because I have done that. Because if I'm with the right crew, that's gonna just pull that foolishness out of me. Normally, I know that they can bring it out of me, and I just disappear. I like to get my mind right, you know, because I wanna bring it for the artist. You know what I mean? So, pros and cons. It ain't. It's just like around here, stuff happens. Flights, you know, stuff happens. Hotels, stuff happens. You know, you just get on point and stay on point. Have fun.
I guess I'll say a little nugget for professional development. That's one of David's words. Professional development. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong, but that should not determine how you respond to whatever happens. The most amazing gigs will have hiccups. And I'm saying this to those musicians that haven't quite done a tour yet and haven't gotten out there yet. Oh, it looks good looking at it from the stage.
That's right.
Looking at it from the audience perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all lights and camera when you hit the stage, but you don't know what happened before that curtain was raised.
That's right.
And so you walking into it, always walk into the situation soberly and saying there's nothing perfect under the sun. So when that time comes that it happens, then I'm going to put on my professional mindset and we're going to walk through this thing together and we're going to make lemonade out of lemons.
That's right. Yeah, and don't get above yourself. Some people, when you start touring, all of a sudden you kind of think you that guy. You know what I mean?
I need room temperature water.
Yes, you know, you walk in and you say, "Oh my God, is that the stage?" Now you know good and well how many stages have we played on that's half that size back in the day. Sometimes Auburn.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, we all just got to cram in the corner.
Oh,
the
my
bass
God.
player's playing this way.
Right.
The guitar player's pointing this way, and we just got to make it happen.
I did that gig.
Yes,
before.
you just got to make it happen.
And the other thing is, when the tour is over, you got to come back to
It's
the house.
over.
Got to come back.
You got them little gigs that you've been doing. You're gonna see those gigs again.
And definitely don't. But you know, some people will have the nerve to basically tell people that they can kiss that backside because I'm in the lights right now. The gig gonna end.
Let it go, Dad.
15 minutes.
Yeah, it's gonna end. Your 15 minutes of fame. Now you got to come back home, Doc. Come back. Hey, I'm here, y'all.
Right.
He's like, no. You gave us that backside to kiss. Remember?
Uh-huh.
No. You go on back out there. Oh, they don't want you no more. Have a seat, sucker. Yeah, have a seat. Anyway.
It's good. For me, to pick it back off, at the end of the day, it's a job.
Yes.
Right? And when we look at it as a job and not just fame, we'll be more successful.
Yes.
It's a contract job, like any other field out there. You just there to do a job. So secondly, for me, conduct yourself on stage and off stage. For me, on stage, I do something new now. I've never been this guy to act a fool on stage. If you see a fool, don't act a fool, meaning the sound people. Right, the monitor guy. Like, I give them 10 minutes. If you don't know what you're doing in 10 minutes, hey man, I'm good. Just give me click, turn it, I'm good. And really, I'm not good. But I'm about to do this show for about, 40 minutes, an hour? Why am I acting a fool for an hour show?
Ain't no need in
pissing
them all the way off.
All the way off? Now I can't hear no click.
Yeah, right. and he don't care.
He don't care.
Turn that down just a little bit.
So it's just, I'm seeing people act a nut. Now, don't let the guy disrespect you. Yeah. I dealt with a guy last night, and he was just, I turned it up. I said, whoa, peace, my brother. Peace. Let's start over. We're just trying to get it situated. That's all we want. You good? Everything's okay? I took that role because he was about to take us to a whole nother level.
30-minute show.
For a 30-minute show. Like, we in and out. So that's how I learned to do on stage. Off stage, you know, you're not going to live on the road forever, as Sean say. Don't take that jump back home, right? You there for a second. gather yourself, control your habits, and you'll be successful, right? It's not the time to just drink forever.
Habits.
Sleep with everybody.
Habits. Habits.
Control them.
You have life beyond it.
Because you got to go back home.
Yeah, you definitely have to govern yourself.
Govern yourself
on
accordingly.
On a whole nother level, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, this is no joke. I remember being at a certain gig. It's like 100 and something thousand people, and when anyway, gig comes and goes, and it was a big deal. And I remember coming back close to the crib and ran into a buddy of mine. He's a singer that's a preacher, and he says, "Man, I saw you on TV on the blah blah blah." I said, "Okay." He says, "Man, you got to tell me about it." I said, "What you want to know about it? I mean, was it fun up there? It looked like you was in the zone." I said, "Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to look like. I'm in the zone, you know. Yeah, whether I got a headache or whatever, it's showtime." And he says, "Man, but it was a lot of women in there, right?"
First thing they go to.
This is the preacher. And I said, "Yeah." He said, "What you think?" I said, "It was probably about 85% women, you know." He said, "Man, the Lord knows. He knows not to let me get on that gig, cause you know." He said, "So what you saying is about 85% of them women in there, you can get them?" I said, "Yeah, a bunch of people are just that naive." I said, "But you got to have some sense. Yeah. You got to govern yourself. They want me to get to him. He's the star." Right. Yeah, I said, "So just use and abuse. I done made a fool out of myself. Oh, look at this bad girl I pulled. I normally can't pull a girl that bad. That girl that bad is trying to get to the money man. You know, she just trying to get backstage, and then she can just make her way on to the next room. There he is, and now I'm looking foolish." Yes. I said, you gotta govern yourself. But this poor preacher, the preacher now, he said, "Man, all them women." And I said, "Yeah, that's exactly probably why you probably won't ever get a gig like that. Because you can't handle, that's the truth. You can't handle that truth." And he said, "Man, so what's it like?" And man, I would have so many women. I said, "Yeah, and then I'll give you a week or two." I said, "You'll be through. You can't have them all, bruh. And if you could have them all, you can't do nothing with them." I said, you'll be probably the worst performer ever, trying to lay down and get down with everything you see.
Exactly.
It don't work like that. You got to govern yourself, man. Go to the room. Keep your money. Take it home.
Listen, you just said something right there. Go to the room.
Yeah.
By yourself.
Let me say this, too, and then I'll turn it over to you, Deon. Man, everybody that's watching this podcast, everybody on this panel, we're stone hard believers in God.
Yes.
So by being a musician to whom much is given, much is required.
Yes, sir.
This is an honor that we can play these instruments and make a living.
For sure.
It's a privilege to do
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes.
So when you're out on the road and you're on that stage, think of it that way.
That's good.
It's an honor that God gave us, but it can be taken away.
Yes.
We can walk out this door, boom, car accident. Man, I can't use my hands anymore.
Oh my God.
Sick. You know, just lost a real good homeboy in Orlando. Incredible bass player, you know, passed away, man. You just never know when God has your time, when your number's going to be called. Mm-hmm. So, you know, just when you're on that stage, man, think of how much of an honor it is to do what you do and treat it that way. People are watching.
Yep.
People are watching how you carry yourself, how you talk. Are you drinking? Right. Are you sleeping with women? People watching that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, I mean, one thing I try to do is if anybody says anything about me behind my back, I'm good with that.
Wow.
There ain't much you can say.
That's good.
Because I'm going to make sure my slate is clean.
That's good.
You know, Sean sleeping around. When? Where? Show me.
No.
Where your video?
And your witness.
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
That's good.
I saw Sean drinking at the bar.
Right.
Where?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah. Yeah.
Smoking? No. I mean, and I'm not trying to come down on anybody that's doing that stuff,
Right.
but I'm just saying, man, it's an honor to be able to pick up your instrument and go do this. You know, and it could be taken away just as easily as it was given.
Yeah.
That's good.
There's a code of conduct that exists on the road. And what happens on the road will follow you back home.
Oh, yeah.
Just know that. Just because it happened in Texas, it will make it way. It will make it back. It way back to Bama.
It's gonna make it here before you get here.
Everybody gonna know about it
Before you get home.
before you get home.
Oh yeah.
So-
it's just that simple.
Yeah, it's just that simple. So to those younger musicians that you want to play at the next level, to those who aspire to play at the next level, please know. I mean, the experiences are good going to these these bigger cities, these arenas where you players you a mentor have been. Just know, once again, if you think about it, it's really an honor to do it. It'll keep you in a place of humility and make you just really, consider where you are now and don't take that opportunity for granted. Because once again, it takes one time to be dismissed.
What advice would you all give the next generation?
Can I,
Wide and vast.
It is.
I'll start real simple, especially if you ain't going out yet. Learn your instrument. Learn to read music, because you never know what the gig is going to throw at you. You need to know how to read music, and like Cameron said, everybody's pretty much said it. Learn the genre of the music you're about to play. Learn the style. Learn what the artist. Listen to the music, as much of it as you can. Just immerse yourself in different styles of music.
Who about you, Deon?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good, brother. Thank you. Oh man, I would say it takes more than your skill set. Because when you get on the road, you're going to see that everybody can play. Everybody on the road for a reason. So you got to have character, you got to have chemistry. Most of all, you got to have integrity. So we all can play, but remember, if you're gonna be ready for the next level, you're gonna succeed at the next level. It's gonna take more than your skill set. You're gonna need something else besides playing that's gonna separate you. That's gonna warrant the call back. Being professional, not missing flights, not being late for lobby time, that type stuff. So just know when you get out there, it's not a vacation. It is work. It's not a vacation. It's work.
That's good. That's good.
Just because you got days off, it's not a vacation. They may take that and make it a travel day.
Really not.
No, man. I done from A to Z
Dave, let's rehearse.
right now. Man, I'm just thinking about something. Sean, I'm even thinking about moments. I'm gonna get to that question. The one moment I'm thinking about is the way we have to just some days just shower at the venue. And it'd be the most gross thing. You just got to look at that thing and be like, I ain't going to do it. I'm just going to cut out. I've been in some situations.
That day room thing I was talking about.
Yes, sir.
Jeez.
Man,
Jeez.
I'm not being deep, but man, just be the beacon of light, God has called us to be. Shine that light, represent him well, even if you feel like it's lonely. Right? You can't hang out with everybody. You can't do everything. But you're there for a purpose. Secondly, enjoy the moment. I'm guilty of that. I'm being a realist because I'm always thinking about what's next, which is good, but it's bad at the same time. And I miss the moment. So enjoy the moment, but prepare for the next. I would say that.
That's cool. We were just talking about that, bro. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a little story for my nugget. There's a guy I'm gonna call his name from Atlanta named
Cameron, you
Justin.
say,
Name what? You said you weren't gonna call his name.
Oh, I'm gonna call his name.
Oh,
I'm gonna call his name. Not. The guy that I'm talking about, his name is Justin Gilbert.
oh yeah, JG.
Okay.
Yeah.
From Atlanta, and me and Justin are about 3 to 4 months apart in age. We both started on the scene early, 14, and Justin is an amazing musician, and we kind of grew up in the ranks together. He played gospel for B Chase, and I played for Etona Gaines, and pretty much our skill levels stayed up the par growing up as we got better. And one day, I watched, and it's like overnight, he just took off. And I am, hear me, I am happy for my brother. But I'm sitting there like, God, what about me? Like,
Yeah.
I know Justin. I know him. Like, that's my guy. And the Lord said it to me just as he would talk to me. and it's a great nugget for the next generation. Cameron, everybody that I gave a gift to, I allotted amount of time for them, for that gift to flourish and for that gift to shine. He said, I can't give you the gift without giving you the opportune time. So with that being said, your time is your time.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to. Yeah, we started early. Me, I can speak for David. We started early in this thing. Yeah. That's not everybody's story.
Right.
I know some cats who are 38, 40 that just started. But guess what? Your time is your time. The only responsibility that you have is to prepare yourself for that set time. So, hey, that if God say your time is at 30, guess what? There's nothing you gonna do between 20 and 29 that's gonna push 30 faster than what it is.
That's good. That's good stuff right there, bro.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
You got to be okay with it, because if not, you're gonna miss the moment.
Remember to be likable. Be likable, man. Be cool. Be cool. If you are, yeah, you did say that. You didn't say that over and over, and that's just we're a whole lot alike. My goodness, everywhere you go, you'll see the person over there taking out the garbage, man, and all the big wheels walk by, and you know how they step to the side. You know, and sometimes they look down, and I said, that's the person I'm going to have to speak to.
Exactly. Yeah.
I said, man, you know, you got to be nice to people. The stage hands. The stage hands. Yeah, the stage hands, that, man, they could be, after a while on the tour, they end up being your best cats, man. They look out for you. You know, something that's so simple as, hey, man, I know you like that Fender Twin, but it was a such and such over there that I know you like, so I set it over here to the side. Because I'm cool. We done got cool, you know. We ain't got to hang out and do nothing crazy, but you got to be likable. And definitely be cool if you're the headliner. Be cool to the opening act, man.
That's good.
It ain't nothing like being a butthole just to be a butthole. Oh, my goodness, that's the worst. I got a whole nother story about that when we come back. But yeah, just be nice
we definitely
to
gotta do
people.
another one.
Yeah, and prepare. It's all about basketball players, football players, the fundamentals. Yeah. Prepare. And when you get stuck in the game, it depends on that defense. That depends on what moves I'm going to break out. You know, you just can't come to the game saying, I'm going to do this. Well, you don't know. I don't know what kind of defense he's good at. You know, he might already know what my offense is, and he got the perfect defense to shut me down. Now I'm looking.
We're going to do it a half step lower, Norris.
Yeah, right. It's a headache, but when the gig was over, they said, man, that cat came in, played that junk, all them wrong, strange keys, but he did it. Now, he wasn't too happy about it, but he did it, and he got paid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so don't be a butthole just to be a butthole. Be easy to work with, yada. Your time will come. Just get ready. Be ready. Don't be sitting there when the bus pull up and you saying, I know y'all have heard people that this is the terminology, this is the way they think. They literally say, I say, hey man, you practice. You need to practice more. You could do that. You got to practice. Yeah, man. When I get that big gig, when I get that call, then I'm gonna practice. Yeah,
and that call is gonna come and go.
Yeah, it don't go like that. He gonna get the call. Yeah, because when the call goes out, he's gonna say, yeah, I know that. I can do that. I've been sitting at home playing country music, and my friends been laughing at me. And then my name is Garth Brooks. I need you to come on out here and get this money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the main cat that they called you first, but I don't know nothing about no country. But if you hire me, I can go learn it. It don't work that way. Yeah. Get ready. Prepare to just get ready to get ready.
That's good.
Ready.
So lastly, for me, I would say for the next generation of musicians, let's just make sure we're doing it for the right reasons.
Yes.
I know you want the money.
Yeah.
I know you want the girl on the front row with the miniskirt.
The fame.
You want to be famous. but do it for the love, man.
Yes.
You know, I think about when I was 15. You know, my grandmom used to have to say, put that bass up and go to bed.
Yes.
You know, just get back to that place, you know, when you just wanted to play. You weren't thinking about the money. You weren't thinking about who was watching. You just wanted to play. I always remember Michael Jordan telling the story of if he had never made the NBA, he said he would have been in somebody's YMCA every day balling because he just loved the game. Mm-hmm. And that made me think about music in those terms. You just want to be able to play because you love it. And the accolades will be what they're going to be. Yep. You know, you good at doing what you do, the accolades going to fall right in place. You're going to get the call from so-and-so. You're going to get paid well. You're going to stay in a nice hotel. All of that will come, but just do it for the love, though. Don't do it for the wrong reasons.
Question before we end. How do you get back to that place for the ones that don't understand?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you start out, usually when you're asking your mom to get me some drums or to get me a bass or to give me a guitar, some keys, drums, bass, keys,
saxophone,
trumpet.
Yeah.
You know, you're excited about that. You're excited about playing. Just, man, I just got my new so-and-so. Yeah, you just replay that time and period in your life when you were excited about just the instrument. You weren't thinking about anything else but that instrument. You know, I try to revisit. Like sometimes you probably seen, for those of you, I mean, I think we're all friends on social media. You'll see me post that picture when I was 15 years old and got my first bass for Christmas. Yep. That was an exciting time. Like I revisit that in my head all the time. I just wanted to play, you know, so I don't get caught up in the fanfare and the glitz and the glamour of it all because that's going to be there. But just the essence of playing the instrument and the love of doing it, you know, the love of making music.
That's good.
So when I tell students that, I tell parents, does your child want to play this instrument, teaching band? Does your child want to play? Do they want to play? Because if you want them to play, they probably ain't going to do too well. Yeah. Now, they may get into it. They may kind of be okay at it, but if they want to do it, they're probably going to be much better at it. And it's the discipline of not even really knowing how to practice, just the discipline of going to the instrument, picking it up, and messing around with it. Yeah. Playing all the wrong notes. Yep. Every chance you get, playing wrong notes. Being okay with finding different chords by just throwing your hands on the key. That's how I found a lot of just weird chords, just throwing your hands down. They're just playing guitar. Find different, just, ooh, that's ugly. Okay, yay, that's ugly. Oh, that's cute. I like that. That's pretty. That's a pretty chord. Discovering things. A lot of times you got to put the phone down, got to get off the computer, get off the TV, get out of folks' faces, and just get into that instrument and find what is good for you. What do you like about it? And continue to do that thing. That's how you get back to that place. Like, you got to go back to the extreme basics. I was playing trumpet. I'd gotten a scholarship to college, done all of this stuff, and I took about 3, maybe 4 or 5 months away. Mm-hmm. And I went to take a lesson with my trumpet instructor. He said, all right, we're going to go back to the Arbin book, like it's the trumpet Bible. We're going to go to number 47, which is real close to the front of the book. He said, play this. Dun, 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 hey, hey, hey. I was messing up. Everybody's like, I'm real bad. Like, because it's something I've never seen. Because I skipped all the way to the back. Killing all of that. Horrible. And it's all about getting back to the fun part of making music. Yeah. I know, like you said earlier, you want to make the money, see all these people. Man, get back to making music where it's fun for you. Not necessarily what's the hottest thing out, but just making fun for yourself when you play your instrument. When you play, do you like what you play?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I want to say not just for the new musicians, for us that's been playing for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let life take us away from our passion. You know, get back to the fundamental of our passion when we really enjoyed it. I'm guilty. I have 3 kids, wife, I'm a school teacher. You know, I play out sometime, but I have to tell myself, when the last time you went into your studio and tried to create and just sat there for 20 minutes? What's 15, 20 minutes? Yeah. Kids, y'all go play. I need some me time with my first love, you know? So we have to take away, stop sometime and just say, hey, when the last time I just sat and just with my passion and went back to creating or just having some relationship time with it?